Wagwan guys, whether you are already having issues with loan apps, decorated debt trap, or you've been avoiding them successfully in spite of their annoying marketing gimmicks here and there. You know, these days they actually advertise loans to people as though it is some free money or some free help for your financial challenges. This video is going to help you understand how to navigate this situation and how to get alternatives that you can resort to when you are in desperate need of cash urgently. I've had to bail out people who thought borrowing maybe like a few 100,000 here and there could solve their problem, only to find themselves struggling to pay up times 2 times 3 of that a month later. So you didn't have 100,000 naira now and you take a loan, and then in some month later you're struggling to pay 380 something thousand naira. How? There is this guy who is in my former area who actually borrowed just 80,000 naira from one of these loan apps and is not able to pay. After 2 years, he checked his balance. Guess how much he was owing? When he logged in, his debt had turned into 1.4 million naira. In this video, I will tell you exactly how he got out of that situation and how you can too. But first, let me show you something that will shock you right now. As I'm making this video, there are 320 approved loan apps operating in Nigeria. There were just about 284 just a few months ago. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has been trying to regulate these guys. I saw the TikTok video of a graphic designer who makes decent money from a regular job, but she decided to borrow 500,000 naira to buy a new laptop as she planned to resign from her job and start freelancing full time. That actually sounds reasonable, right? But wrong. 6 months later, she has paid over 600,000 naira and she hasn't cleared the debt. The interest alone was eating her alive, man. She was so embarrassed that the loan apps were sending messages to her church members, to her family, calling her a thief, calling her a fraudster. And the first thing you need to understand is that these loan apps are not your friends at all. They are designed to trap you, not help you. Some of these apps actually charge up to 300% annually, but the fact that it is disguised in monthly compounding interest rate for you in marketing would not make you see that obviously on the front end. You know, that actually means that if you borrow 100,000 naira, you could end up paying as much as 200 to 300,000 naira in just 1 year. When you download maybe Fear Money or any of these popular apps, you think that you are actually getting a quick solution to your money problem. But what you are actually doing is that you are giving them access to your entire life. They would ask for permission to scan your contact, read your messages, check your call logs, and even access your photos. The good thing is that FCC has actually removed 55 of these predatory apps from Google Play Store. They've also reduced harassment by up to like 80 something percent through enforcement action. So there is help available, but most people don't even know how to access help. If you've been harassed right now, take a screenshot of every message, even record phone calls with you, screenshot their emails and save everything you can possibly save, then send all that evidence to info@fccpc.gov.ng, or you call FCCP at 08037, or you call FCCP at 08037768889. The government is actually keen on taking actions against this app, but they need your evidence to shut those apps down. Now let's talk about getting out of debt the smart way. Forget about borrowing more money to pay back what you owe. That is like putting out fire with petrol. Instead, let's look at real alternatives that won't destroy your financial life. Your bank account is actually sitting right there with better options. For example, GTB Bank offers salary advances at some point it was like 5% monthly. You know, that's better than the 20%, 25% and above that these loan apps give you. Yeah, it's still a loan, but it's better than those loan apps. That's about 18% annually compared to the 300% from loan apps. So if you earn like 50,000 naira, for example, you can get up to 100,000 naira. Access Bank will actually give you up to, I think, 5 million naira at 12 to 22% annually. UBA offers up to 6 times your monthly salary. These are real banks with real customers, real branches that you can walk up to. They can't use unprofessional tactics to harass you. Before you rush to apply for another loan, let me share something that changed my entire perspective on borrowing money. Your employer might actually be the best lender to you that you never knew you had. Most companies offer staff loans at 0 to 5% interest. That's almost free money compared to what you are paying to loan apps. I know someone who worked at a small advertising agency in Lagos. The company didn't have a formal loan scheme or anything like that, but when she explained her situation to her boss, he agreed to advance her 3 months salary at 0 interest, deducted from her future paychecks in bits. Speaking of smart financial moves, let me share something that will actually change how you handle tough time financially. Instead of borrowing money when, for example, you have medical issues, when you are a bit boxed up, invest in health insurance like Reliance HMO that costs just 35,000 naira, covering you for a year, and it covers everything from your medical consultation to your surgery. Okay, so think about it. You spend 35,000 naira once and it covers you maybe when you fall sick. For my own HMO, it covers my daughter, it covers my wife, so I don't have to spend extra money. Maybe like you go to the hospital, you are admitted, and now you have to pay 300,000 naira suddenly out of the blues. Or if you are already drowning in debt, here is my suggestion for you. I had someone very close to me who was drowning in debt seriously and was just covering it until it got to a point where it was actually wearing her off. Then she called me and then we discussed it, and the first thing I told her is like, don't worry, let us know how much are you owing. She doesn't know the exact amount she was owing at that point in time. She was owing multiple apps. Let us calculate it. Prepare a list. So we need to know the apps, how much she's owing each app and the interest rate, so that we can organize the one she pays first, the one she pays last, and the ones I can help with. So after calculating everything, then you need to separate the original amount that you borrowed from all the interest and penalties that they've added. You would probably find out that you've already paid more than you originally borrowed. Once you have those numbers, you need to contact each of the apps directly. Send them a written message through their apps or their emails. Offer them that, okay, for example, you borrowed 10,000 naira, now you are owing them 30,000 naira. Offer them that you are going to pay 15,000 naira for them to cancel out your debt completely. They can actually take that offer to help you clear your debt. Most apps will actually accept that 60 to 70% of what they claimed you actually owe, because they know that some of their terms are kind of illegal. If you are dealing with aggressive loan apps, you are not alone and you have options. You know, the Nigerian Bar Association, along with the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, provides free or low-cost legal assistance to those in need. Reaching out to your state MBA branch or legal aid organization could connect you with a lawyer who can offer guidance or help negotiate with the lenders. In some cases, legal intervention has led to reduced debt amount or stopped harassing communication, though results can vary depending on the specific situation. But let me share the most powerful strategy I have seen worked for a relative of mine. Instead of borrowing money every time you have a problem, start building a small fund that can actually come through for you when you have a rough time. Start with maybe like 1,000 to 2,000 naira weekly, or a 4,000 naira to 10,000 naira monthly, in a way that you don't have access to the money such that you'll be tempted to spend it. Apps like GoMoney, Opay, SafeBox, PiggyVest have ways that help you make this automatic. You can open a separate savings account that you can't access easily. You know, another thing, you can actually even sell your items that you don't use. There are some things in your house that you don't use right now. You can use platforms like GG or Facebook Marketplace. I know someone who cleared a 100,000 naira debt just by selling stuff he had lying around his house. So if you have a skill that you can offer it as a service on WhatsApp, post it on your church WhatsApp group. You can even add the emotional tone of telling people that, oh, you are owing money and you need to pay it back before blah blah blah, and that's why you're looking for a way to offer your service. People would be more sympathetic towards you like that. If you are good at something like video editing is actually in demand, and it is very easy to learn. If you devote one full day to YouTube, you can learn video editing. So you can offer social media content creation service to maybe YouTubers like myself. Can you tutor students? You can use platforms like Prep Class and Tutoria. Remember that lady I mentioned earlier that she does graphic designing, who borrowed money for a laptop? She stumbled on my Upwork beginner playlist on this channel and made enough money in 2 months to pay off her debt. She got just one client, and that one client was all she needed. I used to say something, when it comes to Upwork freelancing, just one client can change your life. So now she doesn't need to even borrow money again. She has paid off the debt. If you are already in debt, you can actually commit like 25 to 50% of your income to the debt repayment if possible. Because I'm saying if possible because like you still need to keep eating, you still need to keep transporting to work, you still need to be able to work. You understand? If you can also get a side job, it would really help you. You need to find a way to go about this. And one thing that you need to battle off is shame. Like for example, like I know someone who works like a corporate job, then from his way back from work, he picks people up as Uber on his way back from work, and he was telling me about it. So there is nothing to be ashamed of. He's able to like balance his finances just for the meantime. So now, loans and access to loans are not always a bad thing. I once took a 150k loan from an app one day. I needed to attend to something urgent and important, but a withdrawal I made was delayed because of a US holiday, and the money wouldn't get into my account early enough. But I was already expecting more than the repayment amount in 2 days' time. Before you take any loan in the future, ask yourself these questions honestly. Can I afford to pay double this amount? Because most loans end up increasing in the exact amount you borrowed and can even double. Do I have the guaranteed way to repay this money? I don't have to start hoping for a form of miracle to repay. If you don't have a way that you are sure you'll be able to repay this money, don't just borrow. Like find a way to solve that problem without borrowing. You want to ask yourself, is this really a need, what you want to use the money for, or is it a want? Can I wait for 30 days and save for that thing instead of borrowing? Can I borrow from a friend or family instead? That is actually a very important one. You should be able to borrow from your family and friends. But what actually happens, why most people can't borrow from their family and friends, is that the last time you borrowed 5,000 naira from your brother or from your sister, you didn't return it. You just felt like, oh, you are family, you are friends. When it was time to return it, you are calling them and stylishly, emotionally blackmailing them. Okay, I'm gathering the money, I'll find a way to send it back to you. And they had to like, don't worry about it. The day you call that same person to borrow 500,000 naira, they also need the money. They will tell you they don't have, or they would send you the regular 5,000 naira when you need the 500,000. For my brother, like, I've had to borrow money from him a couple of times. I've collected 100,000 naira from him before, and I paid it in full. Immediately I'm borrowing the money, I already have his account in his own case. My friends that I borrow money and they borrow me money, I have their account, or I collect it the day I'm borrowing the money, such that once I get the payments I'm expecting, or once I get the money, I don't have to call them and be telling them, oh, can I send the money now, blah blah blah, in a way that would make it feel like make them feel inconvenient to a point that they will say, oh, leave it. They should not, even if they say leave it, don't allow, pay back the money. So if you practice that over time, you would have that leverage of being able to like call your friends, call your family to borrow money from them. And friends and families, there's no interest rate in most cases, and you can pay back in a convenient time. And even if you borrow money from a family and friend and you are not able to pay back, maybe like I tell you on the 20th of this month, or once I receive my salary, and unfortunately maybe there's a salary delay, communicate to the person before that day lapse. It would actually help you keep that relationship. And in some cases, you can add a token for ice cream for the person just to show appreciation without being asked. Do you get? So let me tell you about some red flags to watch out for when you are considering using all these loan apps. Never use an app that asks you for access to your contact. Avoid any app that calculates interest rates daily instead of monthly or annually. Also, if they offer you instant approval without any form of proper verification, abeg run. If you are watching this and you are feeling stressed about debt, remember that thousands of Nigerians escape this trap. They are able to get their way out of debt. They are able to rebuild their financial life, and today it's just a story. You know, the shame and the harassment that you are facing now will surely end. I can guarantee you that your life is actually worth more than any amount of money that you owe. Now, remember that guy I mentioned at the beginning of this video that he owed 1.4 million naira. Instead of panicking, he gathered all his loan documents and calculated the amount he actually paid. So he reached out to his lawyer friend, and the lawyer actually reviewed the loan terms and raised concerns about the app's interest rates and recovery practices, which may have actually violated Nigeria customer protection laws. So a formal letter was actually sent to the lender, and after some negotiations, the company agreed to settle the remaining balance. He cleared the amount, speaking to his family and friends who contributed the money for him. Today, he's actually debt-free. So please share this with anyone who is trapped in loan app cycle. Then we've had cases of the husband owing so much money, but the wife does not know. The wife was balling, but the husband is owing so much money. Do you understand? So sharing this video with someone today can actually save a marriage, save people's life. If you don't want to share with them directly, maybe share the link on WhatsApp status so they don't feel uncomfortable that you're sending it to them. But many people need this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.